How do you become a front-end developer? Let's talk about it. What's up guys, my name is Caleb King. I'm a software developer, and for this video I wanted to give you, let's say, 9 steps, a complete guide of how to go from zero to hero and become a front-end developer, because we all know these tech companies are hiring like crazy, which means the money is out there and I want you to get paid, because who doesn't like getting paid? So let's talk about the roadmap, because you might be somewhere maybe in the middle, maybe you're starting out, maybe you're looking to change career, but this video is going to be for you, as we're going to go over the 9 essential steps to go from zero to hero as a front-end developer. If you're enjoying the content you're seeing on our platform, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and we still got the Amazon gift card. All you gotta do is comment or leave a review on the podcast and you automatically enter the win. Let's start off with the question, what is front-end development? Front end is pretty much the website or web application. It includes everything users interact with. We're talking about buttons, texts, drop downs, menu, headers. Front end development also serves as client-side development. So to design the interface of a website or web application, you're going to need to know HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And if you're starting with front end development, you may find this is a challenging path. When you start following the suggested path, you will find that creating a website interface is a lot of fun. Now you might be asking, what does a front-end developer do, Caleb? Well, you may think the sole purpose of a front-end developer is just to focus on user-oriented code, but that's not always the case. I mean, you're gonna be writing a lot of front-end code, but you're gonna be working with web designers, digital creators, UX people, product owners, scrum masters. Like, remember, the front-end experience is what the user sees, and there's a lot that goes into that, because nowadays, front-end applications are becoming more complex. People want more features. They want to be able to do more things on the website itself. So the future of front-end development is looking very positive right now, because there's a lot of opportunities and there's a lot of work that needs to be done. So step number 1, you need to learn HTML. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. We use HTML to design web pages with markup language. Most of the markup language is human readable, so as a front-end developer, you just need to know HTML. Now, I'll tell you this right now, guys. Do not go around bragging that you know HTML. It's one of those things that is a fundamental within computer science, within programming, specifically within front-end development. But what I'll tell you is, it's also kind of a joke when people are like, I know HTML. Like, who doesn't know HTML? Just wanted to put that out there for you. Step number 2. Learn CSS. Now, CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets. It helps you design web pages. So you want to know about CSS fonts, colors, understand how CSS and HTML work together, learn about centering elements, learn about colors, gradients, positioning, the box model. If you understand CSS, I promise you that can honestly put you in a position to become immediately employable, because it's far too often a thing that's overlooked, but it's everything we all want. Every time Apple drops something new and you look at their website and how it transitions and how it has the cool zoom and zoom in, zoom out effect, all those things, that's a lot of CSS. There's some JavaScript involved in it as well, but far too often CSS is the one step in front-end development that people just kind of skim over. But if you master this one step, you can separate yourself from your peers. Which leads into number 3, learn JavaScript. Now, JavaScript is a programming language. Front-end developers, back-end developers use JavaScript. The front-end developers use it for client-side development, and back-end developers use it for server-side development. The popularity of JavaScript is increasing as the load on the server decreases. So JavaScript, very fast, runs immediately in the client side of the browser. JavaScript is the language of the browsers. Chrome, Safari, Opera, Brave, all of your browsers, they all are pretty much all about JavaScript. Now, JavaScript as a language, there's a lot of things you can do with it. And when we're talking about some of the topics you should learn, you should start off with the fundamentals and the basics. JavaScript building blocks, variables, conditionals, functions, objects, prototypes, how to add JavaScript to HTML. Then you can start diving into things like, what is object-oriented JavaScript? What is functional JavaScript? What is the DOM, the document object model? How do you debug code in JavaScript. JavaScript, once you open that can of worms, it's out. And some people love it, some people hate it, but if you want to be a front-end developer, you're going to have to get familiar with JavaScript. Number 4, now once you've learned HTML, CSS, JavaScript, the next step in my opinion would be start experimenting with the framework. Now, a lot of these frameworks you've heard about, Angular, React, Vue. Don't try to learn everything. Choose one, and since you already know JavaScript, you should be able to dive into it and really start understanding the framework, not so much the language. Far too often, people try to learn React before they really understand JavaScript, for example. So my suggestion to you is really try to build something in vanilla JavaScript and then try to build it in one of these frameworks. That way you can actually see the pros and cons of utilizing a framework. Step number 5, build mini projects. So once you've completed learning any of the frameworks, you should now invest your time in building projects on your own. One of the things we talk about people in tech is get out of what we call tutorial hell. Tutorial hell, in my opinion, is really you're watching tutorials left and right. You know the syntax, you know the language, but the second I ask you to do it from scratch, you freeze. So here are 3 projects that I have found very helpful for my students and kind of break out of that mold. Build a clock, build a to-do list, build a quiz app. Those projects are going to be great foundational pieces that you can just really take and expand upon as you build more complex projects in the future. Leading to step number 6, contribute to open source projects. So what is open source software, you might be asking? Open source software refers to software whose source code is available to the public. Anyone can use it, change, and improve the source code. So why should you contribute to open source projects? Well, by contributing, you're going to learn a lot. You will learn how to read a contribution guidelines. You'll learn how to build a project locally. You'll extract relevant functions from the source code. You'll learn how to file an issue, how to submit a change. Just that alone, you're already starting to work with another team. And it's in a really low pressure environment. Also, it builds your reputation. If you don't have a college degree and you're trying to become a front-end developer, open source is the one thing that's going to separate you from anybody who has a piece of paper that says bachelor's or master's or any of that. So open source is very, very cool because it brings a lot of joy. You're helping other people and it's something you can really say, hey, I contributed to that bigger success. Now we have to talk about the soft skills. So step number 7 is you need to really have these 2 soft skills if you want to be a front-end engineer. You need to be a self-starter and you need to have effective communication skills. One of the things when you're newer in your career is you want to be asking questions, but you want to have questions with intent. There's some people who ask questions, but there's no intent behind it.
Russ, did you guys lose this game or did the Jazz win this one?
What?
Don't just ask just to ask. Ask because you want to understand. And going to communication, you're working with people. People are social beings. So being able to effectively communicate your questions and your ideas and even your implementation ideas, like, hey, I wrote this code this way. Let me explain to you how I wrote it and why I wrote it this way. Excellent communication skills can really separate you from your peers in a lot of regards when it comes to software development. Step number 8. Build a portfolio. So whether you're planning to be a full-time developer or a freelancer, in both cases, you're going to need an online portfolio, especially if you don't have a bachelor's, you're coming out of a boot camp, or you're self-taught. I always like to ask people, can I go to calebking.com? Can I go to daltonfrancis.com? Can I go to jordanwhite.com? Shout out to the boys. Because nowadays, I call it digital real estate. And if you're a front-end developer where you focus on building front-end websites, then having a portfolio is just a perfect example of showing what you worked on, the different types of projects, what you learned from the projects. And I always like to tell people, like, your portfolio is kind of like your modern day resume. You don't necessarily need it to get a job, but it really does help show people, I am writing code. Here's the code that you can even go look at the code. So having that portfolio is something where you can really start talking technical. You can really start going into these interviews and explaining, this is why I picked this framework. This is what I liked about it. This is what I didn't like about it. Here's something I did wrong. This is something I did right. All of those things. Now you have something that's a living document. That's a full representation of your skill set. And that will just separate you from your peers. And step number 9. networking, but networking with the right people. If you guys haven't seen our episode about how to build a great LinkedIn profile, go check that one out. But what I will tell you is, if you are trying to become a front-end developer and this is your very first front-end developer job, you're going to need a good LinkedIn. You don't need the education like you used to back in the day, but you're going to need a good profile pic. You're going to need to be able to truly articulate, I'm a front-end developer. You're going to have to showcase your projects, because that is where recruiters are looking. If you have a good LinkedIn profile, you're active on LinkedIn, active on Twitter as well, you can start building a network where you can say, hey, I'm a junior developer looking to get my first opportunity, or I've been developing for a few years, but I want to really dive into front-end development. Where can you find people who have the opportunities that you're looking for? LinkedIn and Twitter are the two areas for software developers where people are truly talking tech and they're networking and they're introducing each other and they're like, hey, we need an engineer. We would love to talk to you. So that's all I got for you guys. I hope you enjoyed these 9 steps, as learning each and every one of them is critical, in my opinion, to have a successful front-end career. But if you have any questions, you guys know where to find me. But for now, I'm out. Peace.